And the Apostle Paul in that letter talks about this idea of race as well. Recently, I was reading a book by Chap Bettis titled The Disciple-Making Parent. He says, passing on the faith has been compared to as handing off the baton in a relay race. And there are many things to commend that analogy to us. There is the real gospel, the baton, the fact that Jesus lived, died, buried, and was rose again, the gospel. There is the real gospel, the baton. He goes on to say to pass on. It must be passed on individually. The one with the baton has to hold it out, and the one receiving the baton has to reach back for it, close his or her hand around it. There is time to pass on the baton, the exchange zone, which does not last forever. All of these are excellent pictures to help us think through the gospel and think through our discipleship. From the time that babies here are dedicated and the parents are commissioned to make disciples, it is about the baby being dedicated, but the weight of it really is on the commissioning of the parent. And from that point until they get into our kids ministry, until they're going through VBS, they come into the student ministry, they're going to summer camps, they're doing all this. Our goal is to equip them, raise them up, give them the gospel, give them tools that they will handle the gospel well, give them fuel for their faith, right? It's a great analogy, and I love it, okay? I'm not much of a runner. I'm more of a fast walker, okay? He goes on to say, there is a problem with this illustration, however. We are not handing off the baton at a friendly track meet. Rather, this exchange takes place on a battlefield. We are attempting to pass on this baton of the gospel while we and our children are being shot at. And what about those observing in the stands? Not the cloud of witnesses in Hebrews, but the few that are cheering on and maybe the world. They're not cheering, are they? They're laughing at our child's attempt and our attempt to help them to run the race. And so if the goal is to make God known and for us to know Him and we're to make disciples, he goes on to say, if this is God's plan, then you can bet it is opposed by all that oppose God. Now, let's stop right there. That could be very discouraging, okay? Very discouraging if we stop there. However, there is one who has overcome the world. There is one who has overcome the flesh. There is one who has overcome the devil. And for the remainder of our time together, we're going to spend our time focusing on Him, the glue. The glue and the goal of life. And so for the next few minutes, we're going to talk about the glue of life, Jesus Christ, God Himself. In our passage, it says this at the very beginning, and then I'm going to say a few things, and I'm going to come back to the passage. It says, He, Jesus, is the image of the invisible God. Maybe you're used to, I like to do some of my reading in the New Living Translation. It says, He, Jesus, is the visible image of the invisible God. So we know here, just from this statement, that Jesus is God, and He is the glue. This word image means archetype or icon. It's the stamp that makes the impression on a coin. Christ is the one whom the Father has set His mark. So if you want to know what God is like, maybe you're here, you're a skeptic, or maybe you're here and it's just about religion. If you want to know what God is like, look at Jesus. Because Jesus is God. You want to know how He would treat people, the down and out, or even the soldier, or maybe the one that's on the outskirts, or whoever, men, women, children. If you want to know how God would treat them, you look at how Jesus treats them. Because Jesus is God. He is the glue. Now,